What's up, guys? Derek Fidel here. I wanted to come out with a video about cryptocurrency, and I know I'm not a cryptocurrency influencer, but that's specifically the reason why I wanted to come out with the video about this right now, because this video is about me predicting the end of the bull market. Believe me, I don't want to come out with this news. I wish I wasn't coming out with this news. A couple of days ago, my goal was to make over 100 grand this month from cryptocurrency, and I wish I was keeping it that way. As of this moment, though, I have nearly exited every position that I have in cryptocurrency into stablecoins while I watch to see what the market does. If it reconfirms that it's in a bull market, am I going to regret pulling out? Not at all. I'll just reinvest in. But otherwise, I sold at the top of what I think is the end of the bull market, and I'm going to show you in my computer here why I do think it is actually the end of the bull market. And the reason why you're never going to hear this from a cryptocurrency influencer, someone with hundreds of thousands of subscribers that has been talking up every single coin, and I mean literally every single coin basically over the last few months, we've just been pumping all of this money into, and all these coins that do the same thing, all right? So many of them do the same thing, and we don't really know which ones are going to be left at the end of everything, right? There's about 5,500 cryptocurrencies right now, and 90% of first businesses fail, right? Something like that. So yeah, we're not going to have 5,500 cryptocurrencies at the end of this all. So we really are in a game of trying to guess which ones will actually be here in the long run. And I do believe Bitcoin will be here in the long run. I do believe we will see a Bitcoin over $100,000 in our lifetimes, and potentially over 200,000, 300,000. I don't think we're going to get there this bull market, though. I don't even think we're going to get to a 70K Bitcoin like a lot of people think this bull run. And I know like JP Morgan, came out and said 140K Bitcoin recently. I totally get it. I totally get all of the bullish news. I've done nothing but research and obsessively watch crypto over the last couple months here, all right? I've had way too much of my net worth invested in there. I literally almost took everything from the sale of my house recently and put it into cryptocurrency, and I did really well with it. And I'm going to show you a lot of the products that I had and sold mostly yesterday, and I'm going to show you why. And did I sell the top? Probably not, but I did sell in profit. And again, I will jump right back into this cryptocurrency gambling game that we are playing. But as far as like hodl to the moon, I mean, like, you're just going to make a lot more money when you sell at the top and then rebuy at the bottom and then sell at the top and rebuy at the bottom than just hodl through everything. Like, I'm watching it enough that I'm going to sell at the top and I'm going to rebuy at the bottom later, okay? The people who didn't sell at 19,000 in 2017, do they regret, like the people who sold, I'll say, at 19,000 in 2017, do they regret selling? Because, oh, well, you could have held until it was 50K. No, it was 50K, like, 4 years later, right? You want to sell at 19K, you want to rebuy back in at 3,000 in March, when Corona hit, like they would rebuy at that time if you really believe in Bitcoin long term. Like, so I'm not someone who just thinks like just hodl for years, forever. And I get every argument that would be against me too, and you are welcome to make every argument against that in the comments. I'm all for it. But in hindsight, if you had a time machine, you would sell Bitcoin at 19,000 in 2017, and then you'd rebuy back in later at the dip, okay? We're not just trying to hodl through the dips. So that's my philosophy, at least, and that's why I am pretty much exited on nearly everything. I do own a couple coins, which I'm not even going to talk about today because I'm not trying to come out with this video to pump my bags or anything like that, and that's the whole point of this video, because I'm going to speak from a perspective of someone who is not going to make money off of you buying coins, because I'm going to show you what I've sold recently. So if anything, you'll just make me feel regret if you pump these coins and I'm like, oh, I could have sold higher, but I won't feel regret because I sold at over 100% returns in almost every situation of the 10 to 15 coins that I owned yesterday, and now I'm down to about 3 with some of those, like one of those being USDC. All right, so like I'm in 2 cryptos and then stable coins and Cardano, blah blah blah. Yeah, it's all going to the moon, right? It's all going to the moon. So yeah, I'll get back in later. But let's look at some of these projects. All right. So the first one that I was heavily invested in is Akash. I love Akash so much. It's the unstoppable, the world's first decentralized open source cloud. It's going to cut so many costs, right? I'm speaking with a little bit of sarcasm here, even though like this is true, all right? Look at it. It is a fraction of the price of Google Cloud, Amazon Web Services, and Microsoft Azure storage. Excellent. It is also a lot like storage, all right? Decentralized cloud storage is here. Amazing. I love it. It's also a lot like Filecoin. Filecoin decentralized storage is here, guys. In case you haven't heard, centralized storage is here, and it's coming in a lot of different forms. And basically, one of these is HD DVD, one of these is Blu-ray, and one of these is Comcast On Demand, which ultimately wins, right? Let's just download it digitally, or Netflix, just stream it. Streaming services win, right, over HD DVD and Blu-ray anyways. So I don't know which one is which, and neither do you. I'm just willing to admit that I don't know which one is which, and for that reason, I'm out, right? So just like Shark Tank's Barbara, I'm out on a lot of these, okay? And I basically bought this coin Akash when it was at 329, I think was most of my investment. I also bought it 241 with some of it, and this has staking rewards of 55% APY, and you can compound it daily. I made a couple grand in staking rewards from this as well. And I actually haven't been able to sell this yet because I have it delegated. I'm staking it, and it takes like almost a month, like basically like 2 to 3 weeks to unstake Akash, okay? So when it's delegated, which means I basically am loaning it out to people to be used, and I'm earning interest on it, which is awesome, but it takes like 3 to 4 weeks to even undelegate it. And even if I'm like a month early on calling the end of this bull market, then I will also feel like I was on time, because you can't just be like, it's over today, exit everything, because a lot of coins are staked out there. And this is also going to really help. It's not going to fall nearly as hard as before. I don't think it's going to go 19,000 down to like eventually ever getting to 3,000. So I don't think it's going to get to like 1/6 of the current price. Right now being 60,000, I don't think we'll ever see 10,000 Bitcoin again. I don't think we'll even see a $30,000 Bitcoin ever again. So if you bought earlier than that, you can probably hodl through this and be totally fine. If you don't want to try to guess the top and the bottom and stuff like that, or play the rebuy, then you're probably okay. But if you did buy at like 52,000 and that's your like hodl position, then I probably would exit if I were you. Okay, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice, blah, 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 all of that stuff. I'm just saying, like, there's a good chance we'll see a less than $50,000 Bitcoin at the time of the next market correction. So if you're trying to cash in while you can, then, you know, it's just an idea. Could it go to 62? Absolutely. The reason why I don't think it's going to is because the major news is mostly done, all right? One of the major news components was Elon buying Bitcoin. Another one was Tesla accepting Bitcoin as payment. Another one is PayPal making Bitcoin acceptable payment. What that means to me is that they think the market's about to dip. Why would they accept Bitcoin when it's super high, right? Because when you try to go buy a Tesla with Bitcoin, because I want to buy one with Bitcoin, I've like looked into this. How would it work? Can you just buy per month? And basically every month you get to make the decision. Do you want to buy this with USD or do you want to buy this with Bitcoin? And you can buy it based on the current price. So when it's high, then I would want to, as a user, give them Bitcoin. But really, you know, Elon would want it so Bitcoin's price is low, meaning I have to give him extra Bitcoin to compensate for that USD value that I owe him on my car payment. And really, like, he wants to be collecting this Bitcoin low, right? So he probably will hodl most of what he's bought. I don't think Elon's going to do a big sell-off because I think he's been a big part of this bull market because a lot of cryptocurrency holders are Tesla's ideal clients. So Elon's got to be the first entrepreneur in history that thought, oh, why don't I just make my ideal clients rich? So I'll just buy a bunch of cryptocurrency and drive up the bull market and make all of these people who want to buy Teslas, aka me, okay, his prime target market is me. Okay, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm speaking about all this from an entrepreneur perspective. Like, if I was Elon, what would I do? Because he doesn't want to make the market he would start the bear market. If it was like Elon sold, it would start the bear market, right? Like, he's not going to be the one who starts the bear market. He was the one who created the bull market, or like largely fueled it when it was kind of stagnant. Like, what's going to happen when it was around 30 to 35K? It was kind of like, what's going to happen? And then he bought, and now, it's doubled since then. And I don't think it will ever, go back down to like 30, especially never 20, but I don't think it will even be at like 39 ever again. So I think he got in at a time that's fine. He's just going to hold because he doesn't want to hurt the price and start like the bear market on an asset that he owns so much of. And he's accepting, for Tesla, because the bear market's just going to come either way. It just goes in cycles. And a lot of people are looking at this like, oh, look, November and December are always the big months. But we really, like, November and December, like, we just had those months. Like, I think this bull market's just kind of gone on longer. Like, I think the bull market was really like 2020 at the end of it. And now we're going on, and now we're at 6 months of consecutive positive growth for Bitcoin. And the last time this happened was 2013. We didn't have a 7th month, all right? And it makes sense. Like, why, if someone bought 6 months ago and they've just been watching it go up and up and up and up and up and up, it can only go up so much, right? I would absolutely love to be proven wrong. I can't stress that enough. If it goes to 75K tomorrow, I would be stoked about it, right? I'd be like, oh, get back in, because I watch it all the time, right? I'd probably be like, I'd catch it on the rise. I'd get right back in, right? I'm with you. But at the same time, none of us are actually in this together. And that's something that you need to know in stocks as well as cryptocurrency. We are trying to take money from each other, okay? So all of this, like, we're in this together, let's hold together. That's great, but really we're all playing. Alex Becker is an influencer, and he's not a crypto influencer. He's just been really big about talking about the space recently. So I really appreciate his advice. But he says we are all playing poker with loaded guns under the table, and that's really what it is. And we're all just like, all right, everyone hold. Yep, everyone hold, everyone hold. And then who is going to be the first one to just be like, boom, 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 and just shoot everyone, right? And really just takes like a few whales to sell off. And I think there's plenty of whales that are still holding. I think there's plenty of retail investors that are holding, and big companies that are holding. I don't think we're going to get a large crash, but I do think that we are not going to be able to pass the 62,000 all-time high in this bull run. I think we have seen the all-time high that we're going to see, because we hit it. We just made a second attempt at it. We went all the way down to 50. We recollected. I was totally bullish. Even went down to 50. I was like, yeah, it's fine. It's fine. We all knew it was fine, right? And we got it back up. We tried to break the 62,000 all-time high again. We got rejected a little bit before the previous one, and then it dipped. And even though it's only dipped 5 to 10%, something about it just doesn't feel right to me. And I don't know if you feel that as well, but I'm coming out with this video for anyone that wants to just hear what I have to say about it, because I don't think anyone else is willing to talk about this because they're in a position where they can't, or they don't really know what they're talking about, I guess, overall. And I'm still very beginner overall, even though I've owned cryptocurrency for a number of years. I can only explain this so well to other people too, because it's, very complicated technology. But on the investor side, on a trader side, that's what I have been doing, is trading it and making money from it. And now I'm just like, I've made enough money. I'm gonna shoot y'all. I'm gonna cash out real quick, and I'll get back in the game once we are confirmed that the game is still going. But I am pulled out right now. Now, let me show you 2 projects that really just did this for me, that I was like, I'm out, okay? Like, basically, once I saw these 2 things yesterday, this is what made me sell everything. One of them is Origin Protocol, okay? Origin Protocol is something that I bought at 82 cents, and then I sold it yesterday at $1.71. I'm looking at it at $1.84 right now. So, like I said, I didn't sell the top. Oh well, I more than doubled my money, and I think the project is a load of horse shit, even though it is backed by the founder of YouTube and some big execs at PayPal, and it's got all these people backing it, okay? 3 days ago, I thought Origin Protocol was the best thing to ever grace the world, all right? So let me speak from that perspective too. 3 days ago, I thought it was incredible. Yesterday, I was like, what the hell is this? All right, and it's because I went in to go mess around with the products. As someone who is an e-commerce store entrepreneur, and I also am a coach for online marketers. So I teach e-commerce businesses, okay? One of their products is for creating NFTs. And NFTs, look, I don't give a shit about NFTs. Like, I hardly care about collecting art as it is. NFTs are the future. I'm sure they are. I also don't think the world's ready for them. That's just also my speculation, but whatever, okay? There's NFTs selling for like $500 million right now. There's like Logan Paul NFTs that just are like trading cards that say Logan Paul on them, that honestly, to me, if someone showed me that they had the Logan Paul NFT, I'd be like, that's like cool, because I'm looking at a piece of history right now, but how much did you pay for this thing? Because this thing's fucking stupid, okay? And it's just a goddamn trading card with Logan Paul on it, and it's just like, are you really that much of a fan that you need to spend millions of dollars? I don't know. That's my opinion on it. But the thing is that is most of the world's opinion on it. And that's what I'm going off of, okay? I'm going off of trends. I'm going off of macroscopic trends. And my assumption here is also largely based off of, I don't think the world is ready to embrace this stuff. I think the amount of people who are going to get in this bull run, the amount of institutions that are going to buy, have already bought. The Bitcoin EFT is about the only major piece of news left on the table, left to come out, as well as the Coinbase public listing. I don't think either of those are going to be able to get us over the previous all-time high and skyrocket past 62,000 and go to 68,000. If I'm wrong, I will be very excited and I will rebuy instantly. You don't even have to know. Yes, I rebought, okay? If it breaks the previous all-time high and goes into like new price discovery mode and the volume's behind it, then yeah, I'll rebuy, and more so I'll buy other altcoins and such more than Bitcoin. But I absolutely do want to acquire a ton of Bitcoin and just hold it. That is the goal, but I'm also going to sell a lot right now and then rebuy at the dip that I am projecting. Okay, so let's go back to Origin Protocol. Price of Origin Protocol. This has had some amazing gains recently. And don't get me wrong, guys, there is still plenty of opportunity to make awesome money in crypto, as long as you are willing to sell when you don't think it's going to go up anymore, or you think that there's not a lot of room left for it to go. So that's kind of my rule, is once I don't think the coin is going to 2 or 3x from there, or at least I think it would be a couple months before it would 2 to 3x, I'm going to move it into something else, because this is a game where in large part we are trying to get rich quick. And if you're not really seeing it as that game, and you're seeing it as buy and hold everything, I do understand where you're coming from, but for me, I understand that not every one of these projects can win, and no matter what team they have behind them, and no matter how successful that team has been in the past, I, as an entrepreneur, also understand that no one is immune to ever failing, and who knows which projects are going to fail. So I'm trying to get as much money as I can, then I get out. All right, so Origin Protocol, I bought this when it was 82 cents. I sold it when it was $1.71. Now it's at $1.90. I didn't catch the top, but what made me sell it early was the fact that I realized I did not believe in the project at all. Okay, I really don't. This is something that I was super bullish on a couple days ago, because the founder of the project, all right, let's look at the team real quick. We've got Josh Frazier, co-founder, coding since age of 10. Great. He built this thing acquired by Walmart Labs. Third PM at YouTube. This guy was the first employee at YouTube. You know, you can look at stuff like that and it makes you really bullish. And it did for me, and it did to the rest of the world, because the market cap is $400 million. All right. There's $400 million in this project, and they have two major solutions. The first one is if you want to sell an NFT, and they've been closing some really big deals, so they've been doing really well in this space. I can't remember the name of, oh yeah, it's Lupe Fiasco. The rapper is doing an NFT through them, but my personal take on NFTs, one, I don't care about them at all. I don't care about owning digital art in the least bit, and I'm also very forward thinking with technological advances. I'm speaking for myself. It only takes one person to really want an NFT for it to sell, since it is just a unique token. There's plenty of money to be made. I think from an investor standpoint, it's not anything that I want to do with. Of course, there's plenty of money to be made, okay? I'm never saying like there's no money to be made. I'm just saying I don't want to mess around with this because I think it is a giant bubble right now because it's brand new and there's just all this early hype and I'm not interested in it, all right? So for one, I'm not invested in the company for the sake of NFTs because I personally don't care about them. Like Logan Paul's NFT, stuff like that, I just really don't get it, okay? Products, apart from that, I run an e-commerce business, and on top of that, I'm an online marketing coach, and I work with a bunch of e-commerce stores. I've built e-commerce stores on Shopify, WordPress, basically all of the major website creators out there. So I tried out their free D-Shop platform, and I gotta say that no one in their right mind would ever build an e-commerce store on this program. All right. I don't really know how to talk without being blunt and harsh. So just I'm letting you know that now because I don't know why anyone would choose to build their store on here. And because I would never recommend anyone build their store on here, I don't want to invest in any more in a project that has a $500 million market cap and has a product that has really no chance to compete in today's market, okay? Shopify is the number one solution for creating an e-commerce store. That's $29 a month for its base layer, and then they have advanced upgrades that you can do, so people pay more, but ultimately people don't really care about the cost of their website as long as it's profitable. And to be profitable, you have to have an awesome website and you have to be bringing in SEO traffic and you have to have upsells and all of these things. You have to have a Facebook pixel installed on your website. None of the things that I just mentioned are available to do here. You can add your product, you can add your discount. You have 4 themes to choose from. On Shopify, you're going to have hundreds of themes to choose from within the apps. Okay, the integrations, Printful, this is a print-on-demand company, and if you've ever owned a print-on-demand company, you know that Printful usually doesn't have the best deals when it comes to Printify or Teespring, and rarely do people who do on print-on-demand want all of their supply just to come from one supplier. So this severely limits who you can work with because they only have this one integration. And then they have these 3 email integrations. And I can promise you, these are all very small CRMs, okay? Very few people actually use these as their email providers. So they have like no integrations. You can integrate with PayPal, but you can't integrate with Stripe. It's just so far from being a competitive product that when I look at this, I didn't want anything else to do with it. I sold at 171 and I don't care at all that it's at 190 today because this project has no chance in competing with a Shopify business, okay? Let me just show you real quick, okay? I'm running a Shopify company for a brand right now. So guys, here is what Shopify looks like on the back end versus what Origin D-Shop looks like. All right, that's basically how many options you have over here. You can see how many more options you have over here. And this is like, look at the apps, all right? There's going to be just hundreds and hundreds of apps that you can choose from versus the 4 that you can choose from here. You also can't make blog articles, so you can't do SEO at all. You have no chance of collecting Google search traffic. So there's just no reason that anyone would ever create an e-commerce store. I really don't know how to talk about this without being blunt. So I apologize if you are someone who's on this team. I don't apologize if you own this product. I would, this project, if you own coin in it, I would sell because I don't know why this thing is going to last. Once this bull market is done, I think it has so much hype behind it right now because of its team, because they have like the first employee of YouTube working here. Okay, we already talked about Akash and Storage and Filecoin and how they all do the same thing and how one of them will win probably. I don't know which one, but I made good money on all of them and I'm out, all right? Let's talk about iOS Network. iOS, what's that you say? Well, that's how you're supposed to say this damn company's name. AIOZ. It's iOS, guys. So if I told you, guys, make sure you go to iOS.tube, which is the product of theirs I'm about to show you, you would wouldn't type in AIOZ, right? You'd type in probably IOZ, or you'd be like, what is it, like EYOS or something? Like, you wouldn't think this is how you say iOS, for one. So their branding sucks. And that's very important, okay? If I can't use word of mouth advertising to say go to ios.tube, then like how can I expect to get people over here? Now this is a coin that I bought at $1.90 and I sold it yesterday at $2.30. Shortly after that, it went up to $2.50. I would have loved to sell there, but then I watched it come down to $2.16. And I don't care, okay? So I sold at profit. I sold at 20% gain, so I'll take it, and I'm fine with that. The reason why I sold is because once I saw what their product actually is, I realized that this company has no chance, all right? The thing I will say that I do like for iOS, though, is how long it takes to load. It's so awesome how long it takes their website to load, because then it makes it so I can like multitask while the damn website's loading, all right? So as you can see, it takes forever for the website to load. Now, how iOS works in a nutshell is it's splitting the ad revenue with the content creators as well as the viewers. So if you convert from YouTube, because they're a YouTube competitor, right? Oh, they've got huge problems over there at YouTube. We got to take them down. That's what iOS Tube is all about here. So iOS Tube, if you would rather watch on iOS Tube than on YouTube, you can come over here. You can wait, a couple minutes for the video to load. We're gonna wait. You guys are gonna sit here and wait with me. I'm gonna like the video. I'm gonna give it a like. There's no, okay, we got public comments, cool. And by the way, I've produced a few of my own videos on here, but this is again, my favorite part, right? It still is loading the video here. So we could just, if we have other things that we need to do, we can accomplish all these other tasks right now while we're still waiting for this iOS Tube video to load. And what happens is that when I watch the ads, I'm going to get paid for watching these ads. And I've already made like $5 in the last day or so just watching videos. So that company paid me $5. And there's about 3 companies that are running ads over here right now. So you're just going to see the same ad over and over and over. One of them is a man's cologne, another one is Rolex watches, and another one is like a different watch company. So they really do know that there's some egotistical people watching these videos here in the cryptocurrency market looking to cash out on their Lambos or cash out on their Rolex. And they know their demographic here, but guys, like, look, we're still waiting for this video to load. Like, this is the product. This is the thing that's going to overtake YouTube here. But it's cool because I'm going to get paid in the money that they made up for watching these fucking videos, all right? Which is great because I am going to get paid in them. And I already am making some money because I put out my own YouTube content over here. Look I put out my channel, boom, I'm already getting views on all these, and it's making me money. It's not showing me my total right now, but there's multiple ads showing in all these. Here's how you can really make money. You can watch your own videos, and then you can make the money for the ads on both ways, all right? I'm getting paid now as a viewer and as a content creator. So I could just sit here today, and I could just go through and watch my videos. So is that awesome? Totally. It also is like, this is not sustainable, okay? And that's why as a business owner, as I'm looking at this from that perspective, okay, I'm just zoom into the ad here. I'm going to watch the ad, and I'm going to earn some fat stacks of iOS. Okay? It's not AIOZ, it's iOS, guys. Get it right, all right? It's going to take over YouTube because YouTube is bullshit, and iOS is going to change the world, all right? And that's why you want to invest all your money into iOS. Is it going to take off this month? Probably, okay? It just had its initial coin offering a few days ago, and I bought on the first day that you could buy this coin, and I got in at a pretty good price, and I sold at 20% profit, and I could have sold at 30 like an hour later, and I realized that what I'm invested in right now is a total piece of shit and far from being ready for the world to accept it as the new thing, okay? So that is why I pulled out basically all of my cryptocurrency, and I wanted to come out with this video for whoever is looking for, whoever kind of has the same idea right now and just wants to have someone out there confirm it with you that I'm kind of seeing the same thing as you, is that a lot of these products are either total bullshit, don't work at all, or are solving the same problems as each other, right? Same with like Cardano, Polkadot, Cosmos, and Ethereum are all, and I think there's like multiple others. There's multiple other things that are trying to come out with smart contracts, the ability to create smart contracts on their app. Right now, Cardano is so overinflated because it doesn't even have a working product. Like, you can't even use it to build things on the smart contracts yet until next month. So it might have a really good month next month. In that case, I will be back in, okay? I watch this all the time. It's very easy to come in and out. But right now, while the market is trying to test this new all-time high, and I don't think it's going to make it, and I don't think any more institutions are going to get in, and I'm someone who avidly tells all their friends to get into the crypto market, I can't get anyone else, okay? I've gotten like 8 new people into it this bull market. No one else is listening to me. No one else gives a shit. And the world just isn't fucking ready for this. So, like, I do believe crypto will take over. I don't think this is the bull run that brings us to, half the world owns crypto. It's at like 1% right now, and I think it's about to stay there. So I hope I'm wrong, and otherwise, let me know in the comments what you think. I am more than welcome to just watch you rip me apart in the comments if you think Bitcoin's going to be at 200K next week and I should be buying the dip and I'm an idiot for selling. I'd love to hear it. I don't care. I'm just letting you know my perspective as someone who is not invested in a bunch of coins and trying to come out with a video to tell you why you should buy the coin that I own a bunch of. So this is Derek Vidal, and I'll talk to you later.